What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're going to be continuing our 13 land decks, or rather finishing them off, with a mono blue, 13 land mono blue. Now before I start this off, I would like to say a couple things. One, the standard meta mono blue deck actually only runs 19 islands, so we're really only freeing up 6 cards here, so it's not like it's a huge improvement or any of that. I think the people that already play mono blue are already like, you know what, we probably don't need that many lands, and they've probably played mono blue tempo enough to know, like, hey, anything 20 or over, you're going to get flooded. Now, obviously, with the amount of card draw and all that, they probably don't worry about whether 19 is too much. But honestly, I feel like the mono blue tempo deck could probably go down to 16 or 17 and be perfectly fine, considering the number of Curious Obsessions, and if people wanted to run more counter. Now, you guys know that I'm not really a huge fan of counter, so I'm going to preface this deck by saying, if you wanted to play a 13 land mono blue deck, probably don't go the route I went. I decided to add in some more Merfolk because I enjoy Merfolk and I think that that they're fun. So that's pretty much the only reason. And you guys know I'd rather have fun with a deck than be like, hey, this is the best deck ever, you guys should go play it. I'd rather be like, hey, this is pretty fun. If you guys want to make a better deck, here's some suggestions. But it's not really in my forte. I don't mind how good or bad the deck is. I don't have any dreams of being mythic, you know, player #1 in the world, at least not yet. So all of that said, we're going to go ahead and hop into the deck tech or deck breakdown. But please remember, if you guys want to make some improvements, add in some more counter spells, by all means do it. I'm just not a huge fan. So yeah, kicking us off, we have 4 Curious Obsessions, as is par for course with this deck. 4 dive downs, 4 Mist-Cloaked Heralds, 4 Ops, 4 Pteramanders, and 4 Siren Stormtamers, and 2 Spell Pierces to round out our 1-drops. Obviously, we have a whole lot of them, which is why like a 13 land mono blue deck is really not very difficult to throw together. Moving us along from the 1-drops, which are all pretty standard in the mono blue meta right now, we have 4 Charted Course, which, you know, you could say is too much, whatever. 4 Merfolk Trickster, 2 Negates, and 3 River Snakes and 2 Silvergills. Now, the River Snakes and Silvergills are not part of common mono blue meta. I added them in just to have some more synergies with Mist-Cloaked, because I felt like it wasn't getting enough love in this deck, and I think it actually got removed from most mono blue decks. I can't remember, but I doubt they played 4 copies. You guys know that, like, I try to catch some pro scenes whenever I can. I did watch the Mythic Championship where Autumn ended up winning the whole thing. Hats off to them. So yeah, you guys know I don't pay that much attention. This is just sort of a mono blue deck that I wanted to be similar to the mono blue meta and then just tweak a little bit. So we do have 3 copies of Tempest Djinn. I don't have all 4 copies, but that is standard for the deck. And then 3 Wizard's Retort, because again, it's standard for the meta deck. I don't really enjoy counter, but if I'm going to be showcasing a deck and saying, hey, this is sort of like the weird awkward cousin of that other deck, then I feel like I should be able to throw it together with at least most of the cards that the deck contains. So nonetheless, we're going to hop right on into our games here. I know that was kind of a shitty deck tech or deck breakdown, but I'm assuming most of you guys know what the mono blue meta deck looks like. So yeah, we're going to hop into a game 1 here. Alrighty, here we are up against Terry, the name that strikes fear into all opposers. It's Terry. Alrighty, so decent little hand here. We already have 2 islands kicking us off, which means we should have enough to run the rest of the deck pretty much. I think the only 3 drops is Tempest Djinn, and you could consider Wizard's Retort a 3-drop, but honestly, with things like Trickster and Silvergill, you'll most of the time get it down for a 1-drop, or 2-drop, actually, not a 1-drop, I'm sorry. Neat little thing to note, by the way, Silvergill is actually a wizard, so it does help with your whole Wizard's Retort cost reduction plan. Uh-oh. It's the mono red. Okay, so if we throw down the River Snake, we can't throw down the Spell Pierce. And then really, what's the point of playing the River Snake, right? So I think we just go straight for the Mist-Cloaked Herald. He's going to try and shock it. We'll Spell Pierce it. Life will go on. Alrighty, come on. No shock. Well, that's interesting. Alright, well, let's go ahead and all attack. I know as soon as we play something that uses all of our mana, he's going to shock it, but is it really worth holding our mana back? Sure. I mean, he hasn't done anything either. Our Spell Pierce works into his turn, so, you know. And if he wants to pay 3 mana to shock out a Mist-Cloaked, I'm okay with that. No, just gonna pass the turn back. Alrighty. Well, we are up to 3 mana, so now we'll go ahead and throw down the River Sneak. Point could have been made to throw down Silvergill before and reveal the River Sneak. It's really up to your choice on that. Let's see if he'll go ahead and pay the 2. Probably, since he hasn't done anything for this first 3 turns, right? Why, though? Hold up, why? Why burn an extra burn spell instead of just paying the 2? I'll take the 4. That's his only course of action. I'll definitely take it. Now we have another copy of Tempest Djinn in our hand, so let's go ahead and play one out. Not seeing any Curious, which is kind of odd. I'm like, sure, I can play Chart Course on the next turn if I wanted to, but we may just throw down another Tempest Djinn. If he's just going to be burning spells like that on my creatures, let's keep our creatures down, right? So there's already 4 things of burn just to deal with creatures. Ooh, we gotta dive down. Tell you what, let's get some card draw in, and let's try and burn a little bit more. I don't want to throw the Curious Obsession down this turn, so we won't be able to use dive down. So yeah, I'm perfectly fine with how this match is going against the mono red. I don't think this man is playing it to the best of its abilities, but that's okay. My turn. Alright, so we can either put Curious Obsession on Mist-Cloaked Herald, which I'm thinking is what we do. We can even throw down another Mist-Cloaked Herald and still have dive down. So yeah, sounds like a sound plan. Okay, wanted to make sure he was going to actually Wizard's Lightning my Mist-Cloaked. Otherwise, that would have been really embarrassing, right? We'll leave the Silvergill back to defend. Another Curious. Interesting. And by interesting, I mean sweet. Wow. There's 3 of this man's lightning strikes in the bin already. Maybe there's something different with actually, I mean, isn't that just better? Well, I guess there's always the argument for that. Alright, I mean, to be fair, we could just Trickster on our turn and Curious Obsession and still swing in with the Silvergill. Or we can play down Tempest Djinn. He already knows we have the Trickster, so let's just do it like this. And we can actually go ahead and play our Charter Course. No need to equip our Curious Obsession quite yet. Ooh, I was about to do it anyways. Alrighty, so last night in stream I had someone ask me about mono blue and if I thought Tempest Djinn was still worth it in a 13 land deck, and this is why I'm going to say yes. Because of the amount of card draw, you're going to get, you know, you're going to go up in land. We're already at 4. We play this next one 5. We're paying 3 mana for a 5/4 flyer. That's bar none excellent. that's just a good trade, if that makes sense. It's a good cost. Unfortunately, Djinn is not a wizard, so we can't Wizard's Retort if we play him. But I'm going to go ahead and get down both creatures and see which one they'll allow me to keep. Now, how many instant cards do we actually have over here? 1, 2, 3. We have 3 instant and sorceries, which makes this 5 mana, so we can adapt him this turn if we wanted to. We can also Curious Obsession the Djinn, and we won't be able to adapt the Pteramander. If we adapt the Pteramander, it becomes too big. His Phoenix is probably going to block out the Djinn. We're missing 1 mana on the play that I want, so I'm going to throw down the River Sneak and keep up the Wizard's Retort and keep the Curious Obsession held back for my next turn. Fanatical Firebrand. I hate to do it, but I kind of have to Wizard's Retort it, because if it lands, our Pteramander is probably going to die. We can't really afford that. I mean, we can, but his Phoenix makes things to where I'd rather just rush him in the face if at all possible. And I believe on this next turn, it becomes very possible. Okay, so then he's going to pay full cost for a Skewer. Fantastic. Okay, so I can Curious the Djinn, but he's just going to infinitely block with the Phoenix. So I think it's actually better to just Curious the River Sneak here. Take action. We got an island. Well, let's play Charter Course. Draw 2 more cards. Another island. See what I mean? And we'll keep hold on the Curious. So we're already up to 6, 7. That's again crazy, right? We only have 6 lands in our last 36 cards. Okay, well, let's go ahead and opt. Dive down. If we play Curious, our Djinn is already going to be bigger than, already going to be bigger than the Phoenix. No real point to swing in, but we kind of have to. So ways we can kill the Phoenix, there's not many. Actually, once a Phoenix is down, it's just an infinite blocker. But what we'll hope for is that on his turn, he'll revive the Phoenix. And maybe he'll swing in. If we can get him on the off swing, it's still fun. He shouldn't, but also he shouldn't have played the lightning strike in the very beginning. So we're just going to Wizard's Retort the risk factor, right? He just discarded a card for it. It was already out in his jump start phase, so essentially we just wasted his turn. And he decides to do nothing. Now we get our opt, and I don't think an opt into an opt is necessarily where we want to be, but we have plenty of mana, and it will allow us to scry into our next card, so maybe Siren Stormtamer. Not really where I want to be at either, but it's what we got. Alrighty. Swing in with the Tempest Djinn. Of course, he has to block. We'll end our turn there. The reason I keep swinging in with the Tempest Djinn, by the way, for those of you wondering, like, why do you keep swinging in? He's just going to keep blocking you, killing you, yada yada. We have to swing in order to keep our Curious Obsession. We could sacrifice the Siren Stormtamer to negate that 2 damage, but then it just leaves him with a ooh, that's a rough draw, right? Then it just leaves him with an opening to attack, so 2 more lands, and if we can find a way past this Phoenix, then our Djinn will just be able to smash him in the face. Again, we don't have any cards that allow us to get past the Phoenix, so it's kind of annoying. But it is what it is. Maybe adding in some of those, I think it's a 2 mana blue enchantment. There's a dive down. Again, not really where we want to be. That's okay though. I don't know if you guys can hear my dogs like in the background, but they're just incessantly going off. Oh, I should have played the island. Whoops. Oh well, we'll play it next turn. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. Might as well make the trade. Go back to our singular creatures. Well, there's always another dive down, I suppose. Alright, well, at least now he really can't afford to swing in with his Phoenix, otherwise, you know, there's always the chance of us drawing 1 more land out. You guys gotta enjoy that I'm playing a 13 land deck and I have 8 of my lands, and he only has 5. Granted, I've went through a hell of a lot more of my deck. Yeah, 9 more cards. You gotta love it. Ooh, Game 2 makes this difficult. Because now Game 2 can start swinging in. Yeah. We might lose to this mono red deck, which is just sad, right? Oh, nope. There's a Pteramander. Think we got it with that. Yep, almost. He almost pulled it out simply because we couldn't hit one of the mini creatures we needed. Siren Stormtamer is actually one of the only ones we didn't need. But anything like a River Sneak or a Mist-Cloaked Herald, or actually even a Merfolk Trickster with a Curious Obsession on it would work. Nonetheless, though, we'll kick it back to him. We do have 2 copies of Dive Down still ready to protect both of our creatures, so like I said, I'm thinking this is where we get in with our victory. Basically on a two-turn timer. What are you doing? Pick your Phoenix. There we go. And he's just gonna scoop it up because he realizes I'm on a 2-turn timer. Alrighty, so game 1 with mono blue, super tempo. 13 land mono blue, gonna be a victory, and we'll move on to a game 2. Alrighty, here we are up against Califa. I'm not sure. Alrighty, let's go Pteramander. We could go Siren Stormtamer, which might be better if we get another island. Ooh, oh, there goes the Pteramander. Up against another mono red. Interesting. We'll hold up the Curious Obsession. Honestly, do we want to play a Curious and hope for some counter? Or do we want to just swing in with Siren and throw down a Chart, of course? Or we can, of course, keep Merfolk Trickster back as a defender to kill off his Lava Runner. But if we were going to do that, we should have hit the Curious Obsession, right? I should have put the Curious on Stormtamer, I will admit that. So yeah, should have done Curious Attack, keep mana back for Trickster and whatnot. On the bright side, I was about to say, if he has some form of removal, it should come down on him. Yeah, honestly, I think I will sacrifice the Stormtamer. He wasted a lightning strike. Sure, our Stormtamer dies, but it only does 1 damage. Oh, and this actually works really well. So we get down the Stormtamer to block for spells that can hit our Trickster. Now we throw the Curious Obsession on the Trickster. Take action, and we get another Trickster. So there's 3 of our Tricksters already. Hopefully you guys, again, can't hear my dogs outside. I can hear them like from around the house, upstairs, through the window, if that makes sense. So they are very loud. Our opponent throws down Experimental Frenzy, which means we're sort of on a ticker here. Tempest Djinn. Yeah, I think let's throw him down just because this really puts our opponent on, what, a 2-turn timer? He's got to get some removal. He's got to start killing us our stuff, because there's no way he's going to drop us before we drop him. No, I'm not gonna sacrifice the Stormtamer for something that's not going to kill my creatures. That's annoying, because then that means that I should have sacrificed the Stormtamer, right? What a bitch. Either way, here's a cool little thing about Trickster. So that annoying Goblin Chain Whirler right there, we say bye-bye to. That Viashino Pyromancer, because we just got flooded with Trickster, somehow we drew out 4 of them in our top 14 cards, which is obviously crazy. We'll just go ahead and tap both of his units, go in for the draw. It's still fine. We still have lethal with what's on board, so he's got to make some pretty big plays here. Flame of Keld. Well, that means he's not going to be sacrificing Experimental Frenzy, so it's only a matter of time. Can't use the risk factor again because he doesn't have any cards in hand, plus he has the Experimental Frenzy out. Or actually, he'd be playing that from the graveyard, so he could still play it, but he doesn't have anything to discard now that he's played Flame of Keld. So he's going to throw a shock on a Tempest Djinn, and then he's going to concede. Alrighty, so yeah, game 2. Gonna be stomping out another mono red. And honestly, we may just call it for the mono blue. You guys have seen mono blue plenty, and it's pretty much just that same thing over and over again, and that first game was kind of long. And yeah, maybe I'll just go ahead and record like a Tribals video for tonight, or try and think up some more decks, some more 13 lands, or maybe just branch out. Who knows? But I feel like you guys don't need to just have the 13 land mono blue replayed. You guys have already seen the 19 land mono blue, which again is 6 cards off and much better than this deck. But you know, I needed to round the series out with the last of the colors. For those of you that are like, oh, you didn't do red, the mono red deck is what inspired this this whole little bout of 13 land decks, so I didn't feel the need to redo it since it's already been done so much. So yeah, that's going to be it for today. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like down below and a comment in the comment section for any ways I can improve this deck, future decks, past decks, any suggestions you may have. Of course, you guys know, if you just want to talk shit or say what's up or any of that down in the comments, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. For those of you that are new to the for those of you that are new to the channel, I can't speak, and you should consider subscribing because of that. No. No, really, my thoughts get jumbled here at the end whenever I go to do my outros. So if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We are trying to hit 1,000 before April, so we can do the pre-release event for War of the Spark. Like I've been telling people, if we can manage to get in there, I'll probably do a couple live streams in the little pre-release event, try and get your guys' suggestions and ideas for decks based off the new cards. So it's supposed to be 36 Planeswalkers in the new set, which sounds annoying, right? Sounds like really fucking annoying, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, as always, I'll either see you guys later tonight on the live stream or tomorrow for another video. That's it. Peace. What's up, everybody? I wanted to take a quick second to thank everybody who stayed all the way through the video, as well as give a special shout out to all my patron donors for helping support the channel. If you too are looking for ways to support the channel, consider hopping over to patreon.com/Dr. Spelkin. Try to make sure all support given to the channel is returned to those giving.